There comes a moment in every person's life, a moment when everything changes, not because the world changes, but because you do. This is the story of a boy named Rehan and the turning point that changed his life forever. Rehan was like most of us, full of dreams, full of plans, and full of excuses. Every night, he told himself, tomorrow, I'll start. Tomorrow, I'll study. Tomorrow, I'll work harder. Tomorrow, I'll chase my dream. But tomorrow never came. His alarm rang every morning at 6 a.m., and every morning, his hand found the snooze button faster than his dreams ever found him. He watched motivational videos, wrote quotes on his wall, and even promised himself to change 100 times. But deep inside, he was stuck, trapped in his comfort zone. And like most people, he didn't realize, comfort is the enemy of growth. One evening, Rehan came home after another failed job interview. He walked into his small room, dropped his bag, and sat silently on the edge of his bed. The interviewer had asked just one question: why should we hire you? Rehan didn't have an answer. He looked around his room, books scattered, half-finished notes, unwashed clothes, a phone full of distractions. And then, something inside him broke. He whispered to himself, maybe I'm just not good enough. Tears filled his eyes, not because he failed, but because he knew he hadn't even tried with his full heart. He had wasted months chasing comfort, scrolling, comparing, complaining, and for the first time, he realized no one was coming to save him. That night, his father came into the room quietly. He didn't scold him. He didn't shout. He just sat beside him and said, Rehan, when I was your age, I failed my exams too. I lost opportunities. I lost confidence. But one day, I decided I wouldn't lose myself. Rehan looked up confused. What do you mean, Abba? His father smiled. You don't control luck. You don't control others. But you do control your effort. And when you give your 100%, life has no choice but to give back. Then his father said something Rehan never forgot. There comes a day in your life when you either keep complaining about what's not working, or you start building what will. That night, Rehan couldn't sleep. His father's words echoed in his mind. He realized this could be that day, the turning point. The next morning, Rehan woke up before sunrise. The sky was still dark, but for the first time, he felt light inside. He cleaned his desk, turned off his notifications, and wrote one sentence on a paper: no excuses, which is effort. He started small. He studied 1 hour without his phone. He applied for one new skill course online. He started jogging in the evening instead of watching random videos. It wasn't easy. There were days he wanted to quit, days when no results came, days when people laughed and said, you've changed. But deep inside, Rehan knew he was fighting a silent war, not with the world, but with his old self. Months passed. Rehan's habits began to change. Slowly but surely, he started waking up earlier. He spoke with confidence. He stopped waiting for motivation and started building discipline. He realized something powerful. Discipline is doing what you should do, even when you don't feel like doing it. His energy grew. His focus sharpened. He became a different person, not because life became easier, but because he became stronger. He got a small internship, not his dream job, but a start. He gave his best, learned new skills, helped others, and became reliable. And one day, that same company offered him a full-time position. The same Rehan who once couldn't answer why should we hire you, now smiled and said, because I don't quit. Years later, Rehan looked back at that night, the night he sat on his bed feeling hopeless, and he realized something profound. That moment wasn't the end. It was the beginning. The real turning point in life doesn't come from success. It comes from pain, from realizing that you are responsible for your own story. Maybe you're standing at your own turning point right now. Maybe you're tired of waiting, tired of trying, tired of hoping, but listen. Every great story starts with a struggle. Every strong person was once weak. Every confident soul was once afraid. You don't need to change your whole life overnight. Just change one small thing today. Wake up earlier. Finish that task. Say no to distractions. Say yes to your future. Because one small decision can change everything. Rehan's life didn't magically become perfect. He still had challenges. He still faced failures. But now, he had something stronger than luck. He had belief. And belief is the seed of every transformation. The turning point of your life won't be some big event. It'll be a quiet moment when you finally whisper to yourself, enough. Enough of waiting. Enough of doubting. Enough of giving up. That moment, when you decide to stand up one more time, that is the real turning point. So if you're listening to this right now, remember, you are one decision away from a completely different life. Don't wait for motivation. Create momentum. Don't wait for opportunities. Create them. Don't wait for a miracle. Become one, because your story is not over. It's just waiting for your turning point.